I'm Alexander Rubian with the New Jersey Second Amendment Society.
You you do love that like very dramatic newsman like start to the podcast every single time. All right, episode 2. Last time we talked about why we're here, what our purpose is, what we're looking to do. We have some feedback from some people. We have very enthused to see that some people are already volunteering to go out in the field and get some work done, which is
been overwhelming, the response we've been
most
getting.
exciting thing, which is great. That's what we want to do. So we figured this would be a good opportunity to talk to you guys and do an education on how to go in the field, asking for these things at police departments, whatever it may be that we're going to be trying, and how to document it properly, successfully, and getting results out of your interactions. Before that, one quick housekeeping thing. We got a comment from a supporter, Jose, and it's pronounced Jose, and I know that as a native speaker, not Jose, who complained about the shirt I was wearing. And I told Alexander, because I don't have Facebook, I'm the only millennial in the world that doesn't have a social network. He's more than welcome to send in any T-shirt of any other competing team that he likes, along with a minimum $20 donation, and I will wear it on the next podcast just for you, Jose. Right? Today I'm rocking Palermo, so I'm going to Italy so that I'm not offending any Portuguese people. But I'll do it if you meet me halfway. Throw us the $20. I'll wear your shirt. All right, buddy.
I hate sports, so I have no clue what you're talking about.
Of course. All right. He knows. He knows he's listening, and he can let me know what he thinks. All right. So. Name of the podcast still pending. His name that he came up last time was horrendous. We're not doing that. So we'll get back to you a little bit.
One guy messaged me, fight every day. That sounds like something my ex-wife and I should have a podcast for.
Sounds about right for some people. All right. Let's get back to the basics here. So you want to get involved. You want to go out and document your interactions with the stations. This is the most important thing. Our phones all have airplane mode. This is something that Alexander talked about last time. Whenever you're about to go in to document, make sure that's on. Reason being, someone can call you. You can get a text. You can get a notification. A number of things can happen that can screw up the recording. So you want to kill all data coming in and out of your phone. It also preserves your battery just in case it happens to be a long interaction, which does happen.
Yeah, I can't
sometimes.
tell you. It's happened to me a couple times. I had some fantastic golden material at some meetings, and unfortunately, somebody kept calling me.
Yep.
And it stopped the recording, and I missed some fantastic sound bites and really damning comments that some of these people were making. So always put it on airplane mode, because then your Wi-Fi is turned off, your whatever, your phone service is turned off, so that nobody can text you, nobody can call you. And that's really the most important thing. And honestly, this is really the most important reason why we emphasize to people to always record everything. One woman we had working with us, this was like 4 years ago when we were originally starting to do this, she walks in, just says, "Hi, I'd like to apply for a gun permit." And you know what the cop turns around and says? "Oh, honey, shouldn't you be in the kitchen cooking?"
Ooh.
And she called me up furious that this guy, this chauvinistic pig, would say, make these comments to her like this and have this attitude. Why do you need a gun?
You guys
and so
think
forth.
we're joking? We have evidence of stuff like that. Like that doesn't even shock me.
Yeah.
We have so many similar things that we do have recorded. That stuff happens every day. The only question is, did you record it?
And first thing I asked her, "Did you record it?" "Well, no, I was nervous. I didn't know what to do."
All right, so that's
and what does that mean? What does it mean when she tells me this story and it wasn't captured? It means it did not happen.
All right, so that's a great segue, because the first thing I want to talk about is being nervous. All right, it's a natural thing.
Excellent.
You know what you're doing, right? No one else does. So naturally, you're constantly going to be thinking about the fact that you're recording. Think about your life as you go about your day. You get up, you go to the pizzeria, you order a slice of pizza. You go to the dry cleaners to pick up some shirts. You drive and go to the bank and talk to the teller, right? At any point, you're being recorded in those places all the time. At any point, are you ever nervous when you're talking at the counter to somebody, worrying that they're recording you? No, you don't even think about it. That's how these people on the other side of the glass are going to be. They're not going to be thinking about it. You are the only one thinking about it. So the first thing is take a deep breath before you walk in and act as natural as possible, because nobody knows that it's happening but you. Mm-hmm. All right? And on top of it, there is nothing illegal about it.
Right? I was just going to make that
This
point.
is a one-party consent state in New Jersey specifically. And when you're in there, they're recording you from 15 different ways, from all angles when you're in that building. So there's a record of the conversation either way. The question is, do you own a copy or do they own a copy, right? So the first thing is, don't be nervous. Second, The best way that I found as I guess this is probably more conducive for men.
I would also emphasize single party state, and you do have the courts have upheld. You do have the right to record the government.
Right.
You do have the right to record the police. Now, you can't go into somebody's home and think you can record them,
Right.
Without their permission. But in government buildings, and recording the police, recording any bureaucrats, recording any government agents, the courts over and over and over again have said you can record the government.
Especially if you're in a public,
Exactly,
if you're in the lobby of a police station, there is zero expectation of privacy there, right?
Yes.
There's a million cameras there. If you're out on the street, there's even less of an argument. Like, you're 100% fine. So, again, the nervousness is all on you, right? Because we're the ones thinking about, oh, my God, I know there's a phone here. So don't worry about that. So let's go back to what I was saying. For men, the easiest thing to do is find a shirt that has like a front pocket.
That's what
And you rest it like this with the pocket, covering everything but the camera. Everyone has a phone nowadays. Everyone, especially, gentlemen pockets, put their phones here. They put it on. No one's going to think twice. And as long as you're not like fidgeting and looking at it, no one's going to question anything. This is the most innocuous, simple way to do it. And cameras on modern phones are quite good. So the quality is fantastic. The sound is fantastic. You don't need anything else. If we go to do things later on that are more complicated, we do have more sophisticated equipment we can use, but that's not the focus.
Yeah,
right now.
that's not the focus right now.
So we've covered hardware and how to do it and how you should feel.
And let me
when you
emphasize, in the 5 years that we've been doing this, not once did anybody ever say, "Are you recording me with that camera?"
Right. And
Never.
If they do, it doesn't matter.
Unless you're sitting there bringing attention to it. I had I went out, I bought certain dress shirts that have the pocket there. I made sure my phone fits. And also, one of the things I like to do is dim the screen all the way down so you don't have this big bright thing, shining, depending on, if it's a dark room
Just
or
lock
not.
the phone. You set it recording, you lock the phone. It's on airplane mode.
You can't lock it while you're recording. Only on audio you can do that.
Oh, okay, good point.
Yeah.
I think there are apps you can get, third-party apps that'll override that, but that's not. It's a little bit too far.
Anyway, going back.
All right, going back. What to do? The tactic, right? We're not going to talk. We talked about carry last time. This is not a conversation about carry. Carry, we have special plans to do later on as we progress. Right now, we're going to go through that Jackson model that we were talking about. The main point is, what are the restrictions that they're putting on us as we're at the application point of the process and as we're at the purchasing permit, part of the process for handguns. So what would be the tactic, right? We want to demonstrate, we want to clearly demonstrate that there are additional restrictions or additional requirements being put on our application process. That's our goal, right? And to document that. So we're not going to speak in generic terms. We're going to say very simple, direct things that force the counterparty to acknowledge those restrictions, right? So here's an example. You go in, you walk in, you say, "Hi, I'd like to apply for my FID card."
Pistol purchase permit, whatever.
Whether it's you're applying for the FID card for the first time or you're applying for your purchase permits. Make sure you're going in your town, you're a resident of the town. They're going to say, "Oh, the chief is not here," or, "Oh, the person who handles that is not here." You've already won. Mm-hmm. All right, that's a victory right there. That's very commonly one of the first steps, one of the first hurdles is come back another time.
Yep.
We need that content. All right?
Or we only accept these applications
on Thursday night between 7:30 and 8:30. Right, that's like one of the things we always hear. So right there, you've won. Even if nothing else happens, that's a small victory that we can market. Okay. Second, after you say what you want, say, "What do I need to get this done?" The most important thing after you ask that question and any subsequent question, this is the golden rule about doing activism. Shut your mouth. Don't say anything after that. It's like anyone who's been in sales knows you ask for a sale, you stare at the person and shut your mouth and let them talk. You're going to feel very tempted because these people are in a position of authority. You're a little nervous. You know you're recording, and there's going to be moments where there's silence, and people by nature abhor silence. It makes them uncomfortable. Fight the temptation to start rambling or saying anything, irrelevant, right? Just say, "I'm here to get my permit. What do I need to get my permit? What do I need to do?" Shut up and let them talk.
Exactly.
What's going to happen after that?
Yeah, a lot of the people that we sent in, I mean, we had to practice and role play with them.
It helps to do that.
It helps to do that because you want to, you obviously want to interact. They want to interject. They want to bring up statement. Just you know, what's that golden rule? You never interrupt your enemy while they're making a mistake.
Right.
You know, and that's it. Just ask a question, follow the script, and shut up.
Shut your mouth. The most important thing is shut up after.
And you will be very surprised. If you look back at our old videos, you'll be very surprised about how these people love to just boast about what they believe in and what, you know, why they do it their way instead of what the law says and so forth. So,
all right. So the next step, let's say you don't get stonewalled there and the clerk goes into the back to go get forms and brings out a packet of papers, right? 99% of the time, they are going to give you more things than are legally required.
Exactly.
In most towns, they do. So the next step is now you want them to admit that to you, right? Okay, so you've established that they're giving you what you need. Now you need to separate the things in that package and make the person you're interacting with admit and define what they're putting in front of you. So they'll say, oh, you need to sign this and get referrals and then get this check and blah, blah, blah. Then it's your job to define that package, right? So go through it and say, okay, what is this paper? Like, act stupid. All right. Well, this is the STS 33 form. It's the background check. Okay, that's one of the lawfully mandated documents from the state. What is this paper? Oh, that's a SP 66. That's the mental background check. Mental health check, excuse me. That's the only other legal form they can give you. Those two.
You just reminded me. Remember we went to Edison and on their requirements.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish the stuff. Okay. Those are the only two. All right. There's going to be more. There's your job mentally in that little moment to be quiet and mentally separate amongst all those documents. Okay, that's the mental health check form. That's the background check form. I see two other ones. Now you take that first foreign one that you don't know and go, and what is this form and what does it do? And they'll say, oh, those are the additional reference checks in your work history that you have to give us and a note from a doctor and whatever it is. And you go, oh, okay, and what's the name of this form? Make them define the purpose and the nature of that form as much as possible, okay? And any subsequent forms. So if you've gotten to that point, they've established the one or two forms you're supposed to fill out. They've defined for you the one or two forms that you're legally not supposed to have to fill out, but they're telling you is mandated. The next step is defining expectations, okay? Now, according to the law, they're supposed to deny or accept your application within 30 days. Yeah. We know that that doesn't happen, right? So the next step is defining expectations. The next thing is, okay, I'm going to fill all of this out. I'm going to come back tomorrow. If I drop this off tomorrow, when could I expect to have this back? Mm-hmm. And this may seem silly or annoying. This is very important because right then and there, they are going... I'll bet my next paycheck on this. They're going to tell you something that's longer than 30 days. Or they're going to give you an ambiguous, vague response that alleviates responsibility from themselves.
When we have time.
Oh, well, the chief's on vacation. We only do this once a week. You're going to have to call us and check in only during these hours. If you capture that, good. More gold, more fodder for us. So you see, we're establishing, this isn't about going in and by accident catching people. We're very methodical.
Yeah.
We're very disciplined. Everything you say has a purpose, and then you're quiet the rest of the time capturing content.
This is very, very, very specific.
Yes.
And just think about, you might be thinking this is silly or maybe, obviously this is not, we want to capture these things. But imagine the outrage if those things were being told to people for social benefits, right? Yep. Not even forget about putting aside constitutional rights. Just imagine if that was anything else that they turned around and they said these things to us. And it kind of like going back to what we were joking about, what you were talking about before. We had one person. I was looking at the requirements and I said, "Why does it say I need to have my resume?" And she's like, "And my."
Put your boss's phone number on here.
Yeah. It said your resume, where you went to college. And I started asking these questions, and she's like, well, that's what the chief wants, right? And that 15, 30 seconds was actually used in Governor Christie's directive that said, look at these abuses that the police departments are not following the law. And subsequent to that, the Attorney General came out with a directive and said, you have to follow the law. You cannot require additional requirements. You cannot ask for additional things. And they cited specifically that one part of our video. So there are consequences, to these actions. Now, what's the downside of all those directives that Christie put out? There was no teeth to it. Right? Oh, here are the rules. This is what you should do, but there's no punishment if you break them. So what did the police departments go back to doing? They went back to going back to their old ways, and and eventually just things get out of control. And that's why it's important that we continuously do these things until somebody gets in trouble for official misconduct, or some other federal violation of our constitutional rights.
Right. So at the end of that interaction, let's say you've gone through all those steps. The last most important thing is identify the person you're speaking to. And
Exactly.
I'm sorry, sir, what was your name? That's it. You don't have to say, it could be sir, ma'am, whatever. They'll say, oh, I'm John. I'm so-and-so. Thank you so much for your time. I'll come back.
Yeah.
And as you walk away, either take out your phone. If your phone actually will be recording, but either speak into the phone, hey, it's 6:35 on June 15th. I'm at the West Windsor Police Department, wherever you are, and just document the time, place of where you are. That's very important for the follow-ups when you go back again.
Yeah.
So, again, just to recap, you're going to be nervous. That's fine. That's normal. You'll do it the first time, and you'll calm down after that. Once you break the ice with the first one or two questions, you'll forget that you're even.
I remember
recording.
the first video or first one or two videos. I did, and I just remembering how nervous I was, and making silly mistakes and asking too many questions and interrupting. Right. And then after like the third or fourth, I was just walking in there just like, hi, I'd like to apply for a firearm permit. Oh,
the less words, the better.
Yeah,
let them talk.
Yeah.
You're there. At the end of the day, you're there to record them.
Yeah,
you are not the subject of the video.
And remember,
it's their policies that are the subject of the video. What we're trying to confirm is that they're cheating the system.
Exactly.
Right? Not you. So it's very important to pose the question, define the terms, define expectations, identify the subject, leave.
Yeah. And then if there's anything blatantly out there that says you need to have your resume, your work experience, it was work experience, the one in Edison said work experience. And I was like, why are they asking for my work experience? And she said, well, that's what the chief wants. Okay, thank you.
And say, thank you, move on. Define whatever else is there that you don't understand. Just make them define it all. Walk away.
Walk away.
If you have any questions about this stuff, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Put a comment in the bottom of the section of this video. We will read those comments. We're going to respond to the comments on every video in the subsequent episode. So if you guys have something you want to have addressed, if you have a question, if you have a suggestion, but specifically the goal of this is to start a campaign of activism with documenting on permits. All right, this is where we're going to really have a domino effect, and it starts with Jackson, and we're going to make this expand substantially.
Absolutely. And then next time, people, they feel very kind of beaten down with the Democrat legislature and a Democrat governor and everything else. But, I think the next episode, we should definitely talk about the times that Obama was in power and people did results-oriented activism like this, captured things, and exposed their hypocrisy and their corruption. And even under a Democrat legislature or Congress or a Democrat president, changes did happen that conservatives won on because they exposed it. And it was irrefutable. There was no, I went to the police department and this police chief said, shouldn't you be in the kitchen cooking? It didn't. If it wasn't recorded, it didn't happen. And it's things like that one day the courts can look at and say, look at these arbitrary requirements. Look at this arrogance that these government agents in New Jersey were putting towards an applicant that was female, making jokes about being in the kitchen, blah, 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 blah. That's the kind of stuff that could be damning in the future, and that's why it's important that we do these things.
Yeah, don't get psychologically beaten down about, there's a Democrat governor.
Exactly.
We live in New Jersey. It's such a progressive dump. What am I going to do? Yep. Well, there's nothing I can do. That is the wrong mentality, all right? You have to look at this as a metaphorical target-rich environment, okay? Yep. The more corruption there is, the more opportunity for us to expose things, all right? That's how you have to look at it. Right now, this is like, again, metaphorically, because I don't want anybody to get offended, metaphorically shooting fish in a barrel. It is so easy.
Yeah.
Every single... it is 99% of departments break the law. So if you just show up and follow those simple steps I just outlined, you're going to win, right? You're going to help the cause by showing how they're corrupting, this very basic process and adding all of these illegal additions onto it.
Exactly. So let's talk about that in the next episode so that we can lift morale. We get a lot of messages from people that they just, they just their answer is, I can't wait to leave this state. Well, let's at least
let's change where we are now.
Let's change where we are now. And be able to fight. And, talking exactly what you were just talking about, who cares who's in power and all that stuff and putting them on the defense. I'm going to come out with a couple videos in the next couple episodes showing that when you do results-oriented activism and follow our methods, you're going to get these people responding to you. Right. And we were in Trenton a couple months ago, and the Democrats were responding to us because we had the right narrative. We talked in a language that they understand. That they don't want to be painted as racist or sexist and so forth. But it's how you construct that message. And so we're not just making things up here. We actually have a proven successful model that you'll see in our own videos that when you do things the right way and do things in this method, you're going to get results. So let's end it on that. Get it out there. Guys, contact us. Ladies and gentlemen, please contact us. We've had a bunch of people reaching out to us. They want to get involved. They want to help. Definitely want to start training.
Maybe we'll have some kind of contest. Maybe the first 10 people that can send us video content in which you uncover an element of them breaking the rules, and that could be anything. That could be having an extra form. Yeah. That can be admitting that they're going to take 6 months to get back to you. Maybe there should be a hat giveaway or a shirt giveaway or something. We need to
or a gun giveaway.
Of course, those have been pretty successful.
Yeah, they've been very successful.
Popular. Yeah, or maybe the gun is like you bring in 10 examples or something like. Yeah. But just the quick recap: make the ask for what you want, the permit. Define the expectations. Define what they're asking you to give them, so we can show what's legal and what's not legal. Define the time frame. When are you going to get back to me? Shut your mouth. Thank you. Identify the person. Leave. Keep those things in your mind. Get back to us. Let us know what you find. If you have questions and if you want to help us do this, reach out to us. Leave a comment at the bottom of the video.
And even better, this might sound silly. I've done it myself. Practice in front of the mirror.
Absolutely.
Just practice in front of the mirror. Take the script. Practice in front of the mirror a couple of times. Practice with your husband, your wife, your kids, whatever you have available, and just role play a little bit, and you'll be very fluid at it. And I'm telling you, this works. So we'll talk to you guys next time.
Let's go win. Let's go.
Thanks.